Illumination. Love them or hate them, you can't deny one simple fact. They're the most successful animation studio on the planet. More successful than Pixar, DreamWorks, Disney, Ghibli. Their movies average $711 million at the box office, the most of any studio ever. And they've created the highest grossing animated franchise of all time. But there's something strange about Illumination's dominance. How could movies that so many people hate get no real critical acclaim and use a similar storytelling formula year after year become so popular? How exactly did a studio known for fart jokes and talking bananas outsmart every other animation giant? The answer is more calculated and honestly more worrying than you can ever imagine. When Chris Meledandri founded Illumination in 2007 after leaving Fox Animation, he didn't set out to revolutionize animation artistically. He saw a business opportunity: make animated films for significantly less money than competitors and market them aggressively. And this wasn't a no-name, by the way. He had already been involved as executive producer in 2 Ice Age movies that made $1 billion combined. But in an industry where computer-generated movies were costing $100 million plus to make without exception, he wanted to challenge that. And challenge that he did. Illumination's first film, Despicable Me in 2010, cost just $69 million to produce. That same year, we got Pixar's Toy Story 3 with a budget of $200 million, Tangled with a budget of $260 million, and Shrek Forever After with a budget of around $150 million. This stark contrast in production costs reveals Illumination's foundational strategy. While other studios were pouring resources into perfecting every pixel and emotional beat, Meledandri was asking a very different question. What's the minimum we need to spend to make a successful animated film? The answer, as it turns out, was far less than industry standards suggested. They were able to do that by outsourcing animation to studios in France, where production costs were lower, and using cost-conscious animation techniques that lowered render times. From day one, Illumination operated with surgical precision. Keep budgets tight, storytelling simple, and characters as marketable as possible. But Meledandri's true stroke of genius was understanding what audiences actually wanted versus what critics praised, which led to the stupidly simple Illumination formula. Vibrant, eye-catching visuals that pop on merchandise, simple plots that translate easily worldwide, celebrity voice casts for marketing leverage, catchy pop songs for cross-promotion, and most importantly, relentless humor targeting children with just enough adult jokes for parents. And underpinning all of this is intentionally simplified, so-called cheap animation. Their visuals aren't groundbreaking like Sony's or DreamWorks, but that's entirely intentional. Illumination uses simpler character designs, fewer detailed textures, and exaggerated slapstick movements that save money and accelerate production. And that's all with their target audience in mind. Their movies are expertly calibrated to appeal to children, the undiscerning adults who accompany them, and meme-happy teens. This formula isn't an accident. It's meticulously crafted to maximize return on investment. Every element serves the bottom line. Sing and The Secret Life of Pets follow the same formula. Easy to market, simple premise, massive success. No deep themes, no narrative risks, no complexity, no innovative animation techniques, just ideas that fit neatly on a poster and print money. And these movies were completely original IP, by the way, and aren't exactly considered good. Yet they still made $1.5 billion combined. Literally how? It's nuts. Minions, the prequel spin-off centered entirely around, you guessed it, the Minions, made $1.16 billion globally. The formula had reached its peak efficiency. Strip away everything but the most marketable element and watch the profits soar like hell. It's efficiency over artistry, profitability over prestige, and it works spectacularly. But what really skyrocketed Illumination to unprecedented success wasn't Gru or the 3 cute little girls, it was the Minions. Those yellow pill-shaped creatures became a global phenomenon overnight. We've all seen them. Think about it. Disney spent decades perfecting princesses. Pixar invested years developing emotionally complex characters. DreamWorks built franchises around celebrity voice protagonists and fourth wall break comedy. Illumination? They created banana-loving yellow capsules that speak nonsense and fall down. Now that is a legacy. But there's more to the success than just cute designs. Illumination mastered a very particular style of comedy: slapstick, absurdist, and universally accessible humor. Illumination movies are packed with physical comedy, bodily function jokes, and gleeful absurdity that appeal directly to kids while entertaining adults enough to keep them from zoning out completely. There's no risk of a joke going over a child's head because they intentionally stick to visual, exaggerated humor that translates effortlessly across different cultures and age groups. It's a comedic style that stood the test of time, from Charlie Chaplin to Tom and Jerry, and Illumination modernized and weaponized it for maximum global impact. And I can't lie, I even find it hilarious. It's such a simple yet effective comedic style. The Minions represent Illumination's masterstroke, creating characters so instantly recognizable that they transcend language barriers and culture differences. They don't speak any real language, just gibberish with occasional recognizable words, which is genius, because it made them globally marketable without any translation issues, and their language even became iconic, like The Sims. They work equally well in America, China, Brazil. Their designs are intentionally simple and replicable, perfect for merchandising. Every Illumination film, from Despicable Me to The Secret Life of Pets, follows this franchise-first approach, built from day one for maximum merchandising profitability and maximum franchise potential. And that's exactly what sets Illumination apart. Their approach to marketing isn't just aggressive, it's genius. Animated studios typically spend large amounts on marketing, often as much as the movie itself. Pixar's Elemental, for instance, spent around $100 million on marketing, only to struggle to break even. But Illumination doesn't just spend heavily, they spend strategically. They regularly allocate marketing budgets equal to or even greater than their production costs, investing heavily in global advertising, product tie-ins, and digital virality. Take the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Illumination spent approximately $150 million on marketing alone, 50% more than the film's production budget. But what made this strategy brilliant was how carefully targeted that spending was. The movie became essentially a 90-minute ad for Nintendo nostalgia, flooding social media and retail stores with Mario-themed products, partnerships, and merchandise months before release. Now, I would say this was gonna be a guaranteed success anyway, given the IP, but Illumination elevated it as much as they could. By the time the movie hit theaters, anticipation was sky high, turning a safe, nostalgia-driven animated film into a billion-dollar global event. Then there's the studio's most iconic example of marketing genius, the Minions. From the start, Illumination understood the power of viral, meme-driven marketing. By 2015, Minions merchandise alone was generating billions of dollars in retail sales. The Gentle Minions TikTok trend was insane, transforming a simple animated sequel into a legitimate cultural phenomenon. Teenagers were dressing up in formal wear, filling theaters worldwide, flooding social media with Minions memes and videos, generating hundreds of millions of views. The trend became so influential, it even made headlines internationally, significantly boosting ticket sales far beyond traditional marketing channels. This meticulous, targeted approach means every Illumination movie feels like an event, even if it's just another sequel or spin-off. In an era where marketing often makes or breaks a film's success, Illumination is in their own tier of brilliance. They've mastered the art of turning animated movies into cultural craziness, proving that film really is just a business. It usually isn't about creating the deepest story or the most innovative animation, it's simply knowing exactly how and where to sell it. And that's the thing. The sad truth behind Illumination's dominance is that they're winning by lowering the bar. Their unprecedented financial success is reshaping the entire animation industry, but definitely not for the better. Studios are taking note. Audiences will accept less, so why push for more? Why spend hundreds of millions creating groundbreaking films like The Spider-Verse or Soul that might underperform when you can manufacture reliable content instead? We've already been seeing the impact for years. Major studios have scaled back risk-taking in a big way. Sequels and familiar franchises dominate because Illumination has proven that's where the money is. Truly original animated stories have become increasingly rare. The innovation that once defined animation is slowly being replaced by formula. And I mean, the results speak for themselves. The Despicable Me franchise alone has surpassed Toy Story and Shrek, becoming the top grossing animated franchise ever. In 2023, the Super Mario Bros. Movie out-earned Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse by hundreds of millions of dollars. Make it make sense. Let's be real. Creating genuinely original, artistically ambitious animated films is hard. It's expensive, it's risky. When executives see Illumination making billions with simpler productions, it's obvious what they want to do. Why gamble when there's a proven safer path? The truth isn't that Illumination makes bad movies, it's that they've cracked a profitable code at the cost of artistic ambition. They don't push animation forward, they push profit margins forward. And in an industry struggling financially, that might make them the smartest animation studio around. Which brings us to the crux of the entire video, the innovation dilemma. Illumination has cleverly positioned themselves as the anti-Pixar. Pixar aims for your heart with emotional storytelling and artistic innovation. Illumination unashamedly goes for your wallet. They aren't pretending to make profound art, they're making highly profitable entertainment, and they're brutally honest about it. But this ruthless, formula-driven approach creates a genuine problem for animation's future. Historically, animation has always evolved through risk-taking and innovation, like most forms of media. From Disney's groundbreaking work in the 1930s, to Pixar's technological revolution in the 1990s, to Sony's revolutionary combination of 2D and 3D for the Spider-Verse. Yet Illumination's safe, profitable strategy discourages studios from taking risks on original, boundary-pushing ideas. Formulas eventually grow stale though. Illumination seems aware of this, as seen with their recent push into franchises like Mario, which is a huge win for the studio. The real concern isn't Illumination's approach though, it's the influence they're having on other studios. When Sony Animation sees Illumination's success, does that make them more or less likely to greenlight another project like the Spider-Verse? When Disney executives compare box office returns, why would they bother with new original animated movies? So as animation fans, we're kind of screwed here. And the studio itself also stands at a crucial crossroads. The kids that grew up on the franchise are now getting older and will want something different soon. Illumination's future movies send a clear message though. With projects like Super Mario Bros. 2 and Minions 3 on the horizon, they clearly want to double down rather than take any risk whatsoever. And who can blame them? Illumination's dominance isn't about yellow minions and clever marketing. It's really about what happens when business strategy overtakes artistic ambition. Their brilliance lies in their efficiency, their ability to distill animation down to its most commercially effective elements. Yet we can't ignore how insanely rare it is to achieve what they've done. Illumination does it regularly and almost effortlessly. But as animation fans, it's important to question whether this is really the kind of success we want defining animation's future. Because one thing is certain. Illumination ain't going anywhere, but we, as audiences, have the power to decide whether animation remains a vibrant art form or becomes just more manufactured. We need more people watching movies like Flow, The Day the Earth Blew Up, Look Back, and less people watching the 5th Minions sequel. But maybe the real question isn't really how Illumination outsmarted everyone else, but whether being smart is the same as being right.